Welcome back to another TI Testimonies video. This is a statement for the world about the targeting of so-called targeted individuals, the uncountable amount of victims worldwide. We have Katascha here back for part two of her testimony, and she's going to explain to you her experiences being a target individual or, beyond that term, being a victim of these ongoing crimes and pure evils. Go ahead, Katascha.
Okay. So from where we had left off from the last time, so I moved to Burlington, Vermont in 2018. I actually didn't move there. I went to go check on a friend of mine, like I had stated before. Um, what is it? They told me that they were going to kill themselves. So I went and checked in with them. About a month later, into staying there, my wallet disappeared, and I had no way of traveling back after that because I did not have any like birth certificate or credentials to get a new one. They would not let me get on a bus without a license. So I ended up staying there, and in what is it? I was going. A family member was going to come and retrieve me, and in when was that? In March. I moved there in February. I was there in February. March 8th, I was on my way to a coffee shop, and yeah, I described the accident. This guy hit me on my bicycle by getting out of his car. Um, I hit the pavement. I suffered a traumatic brain injury on the left side of my head, which like left me to be like really impaired for at least like 6 months. It was really hard for me to take care of myself, um, and what is it? I had to go to physical therapy. I had to see a neurologist for like three. I'm actually still seeing neurology now. Um, and I have a bulge in my L5 disc on my back because from hitting the pavement. And it also, from my experience, it like reset my mind in a sense. So while staying there, on the property that I was at, these people, Jeffrey Sonnen, Jonathan Sawyer, and Gregory Nixon. These are three men that were either living or working on the property that I was staying at in Burlington. They were affiliated with Illuminati. They uh, they would call each other brother when they would greet each other, and they tried to. I remember Jonathan at one point coming to me and trying to. They're pretty much trying to cult and do an induction into a cult with me, and I didn't realize that at the time. They and that's what they do. So they tried to induct me into their little group. They gave me a different name. They used to call me Kiva. Um, the Jeffrey was his name was changed to, and he's the cult leader. He is the one. He goes by Finn or Phineas, is what everybody calls them. They have ties all through New England. These people, and um, he. Can we pause for a second? Can we pause for 1 second? I am trying to find. Give me 1 second.
We can't pause it, but
We can. Okay.
it's okay. Don't
I
worry.
give me one
Share with
second.
us,
So
people.
I was working on their property, and there were some instances. There was one night when I was sleeping, and I remember waking up and feeling my legs as if they were like levitating and stuff. They like someone picked my legs up first time, and I felt that, and I jump up out of bed and I feel my legs fall as if someone dropped them, and then they took off running, and I could see out my window of them running down the stairs, but I didn't see who did that. And then I reported that to them, and nothing became of it. They were like, "Are you sure this happened?" They were like, you know, they were gaslighting me, of course. Um so yeah, they were lying. They started lying to me, and then I started getting freaked out because it made me feel as though they they were gaslighting me to the point, because of my head injury, as though I was in the wrong, all the time. And yeah, it was hold on one second. We're gonna have to, like, you can't pause this. You really can't pause this.
No, but I can go into more information. Anybody that's a target individual out
Yeah.
there or that is not a target individual, we want you to check out targetingexposed.com. targetingexposed.com. And that will lead you to other testimonies. That'll lead you to an uncountable amount of forms of evidence, government whistleblowers, their statements, and really the rabbit hole exposing reality itself for you. And we also have a forum for TIs if you want to join our forum, tinyurl.com/the TI forum or /TI site, or you can go to tcti.proboards.com, and you can check out our new TI chat room at tichats.us.
Okay. So I would say, yeah, like a lot happened within that time. I realized that they were all gaslighting me. I ended up going out one night to a party, where I met, he became my boyfriend. His name was Quinn. And we started seeing each other, and then I told him about a lot of the shady things that were going on the property, how I was being treated. um, it was just really bizarre. I felt it was like a whole patriarchy, and like they put out to the community, these people put out to the community that they are these like humble, like woke men, but they're not. And they're very abusive, and they're very like when nobody's around and it was just me, they were extremely verbally abusive. um they putting me down, telling me I look like shit, or telling me that, like, just pretty much making it seem like I'm not good enough. And it was very bizarre. So, and I wanted to check out of that energy, and
Well,
I ended up
a
moving
lot of
in
men do
with.
that, especially the perpetrators and the narcissistic, douchebags. They
It was
want
a
to
whole,
lower your
yeah, it was
self-esteem.
the big group of narcissists. That's why I would love to expose these
They want
people,
to lower
because
your self-esteem
everybody.
because then they figure you might get with them after that.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I did sleep with Finn. I did sleep with him.
Or they're
And
angry that you
it
won't
was
get with them.
out of manipulation. It was out of manipulation. And I like, if I had my head on right at that time, when I wasn't going through my brain injury and everything, I probably would not have slept with that piece of shit. So, um, what is it? But I was seeing Quinn. I moved out, and then I was able to separate myself, and everything was perfect after that. I did not really speak with Jonathan at all. He was just somebody I worked with. He kind of creeped me out. He had long fingernails. It looked like he didn't really take care of himself, and he just had this really creepy vibe about him. And then after I hit my head, it kind of humbled me a little bit more, kind of took down like my, um, like, I don't know, the way, like, it's like your intuition of like when you, the way you look at people and everything, that was all kind of, it kind of was all taken down. And he was just really nice to me. So I kind of started opening up more to him and giving him like a chance and stuff when I was working with him, because I had to do like builds and projects on the property. And what was it? He ended up manipulating me to the point where uh he asked me one day when he picked me up from work, I mean from the house to go to work with him. He had asked me if he could see the property, and I was like, he's like, this is a really cool house, could you show me around? And I did, and I didn't think anything about it, but he was actually learning my patterns of where everything is, all the entry and exit points of the space, because then he started breaking in later. um and he's pretty much the reason why I have nothing. He also is the reason why like I'm locked in this like tiny house shed that I've converted, because he still comes here on weekends um to harass or try to rape me. So, and police have not done a single thing, and I do not feel safe. And the person that is on like at for his the property that he lives on um, is in Burlington. It's only in his wife's name, and she knows that he does this stuff. So she's also a culprit to the situation. He I used to go to dance classes with them. It was more like this like weird hippie like free moving space and everything. It was like a dance circle is what they're called. I used to go with them to that. And what is it? I've also eaten dinner with him, which is really creepy. I've eaten dinner with his family. They invited me to have dinner with them before, and I went over to and sat down with his brother and his sister-in-law and her child, and his family was there. So it's like he did all of the right moves to make me think that I could trust him. And I wonder if his family actually knows what he's doing. It's possible, and it's also possible that like they're a part of this cult too.
I was just
You know,
thinking maybe you should contact the ex-wife and the family members and just kind of have a talk with them and be
it's not
like, listen,
that's
this guy's a
his
sicko
wife
and he's doing this.
still. No, I reached out to I reached out to her at one point, and I told her what he was doing to me, and she knows because she didn't respond. She just told me to never speak to her again. She said, "Don't ever text me again," because she benefits from it too. He robs me. He's stolen all of my he's like stolen thousands of dollars of things from me, and they use me as a vessel. um they told me when I had my accident that I could store some of my stuff there, and what he started to do was like pick off of me slowly, and I didn't realize that like my birth certificate, my other information, I was an idiot. And he made copies of that information to the point where um, when I was working with him, uh, things would go missing in the shop that I would bring in, like my jacket and other stuff. And then I would call him out for it and be like, "You were the last person that was like at the register, like here. So what's going on?" And he would just sit and deny it. And then at one point, he went out of town with his wife, and I was house sitting for them one day, and I found out that like I was going through like books on a shelf, and I found these white gloves behind this like camera box that he had on his shelf, and they were the same. They were the gloves. That was the first thing that he ever stole from me. That was the first thing this person ever stole from me. So it's like he he steals my stuff, and this is the type of person. He turned to me before, and he's like, "Isn't it funny to just like steal someone's shoe?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, just to like take their shoe, and they're going to spend all that time looking for it. I was like, "That's not funny, that's stupid." He told me that before. So he gets off his
Yeah,
Jonathan
it's a
Sawyer,
power fix for him, I think. I think he feels
he's a
like
loser.
he's got a part
He's
of
a
you, he's
loser.
got some control over you.
Yeah, he's a
He's
loser. He's a
uh,
loser. He has no control of me. He's a fucking loser. I'm sorry to curse, but this
you want
person,
to drop
he's
his
out
name in
there.
here? Do you want to drop their names just in case,
I already did. Jonathan Sawyer. I'll even give his address. Jonathan Sawyer. He lives in Burlington, Vermont, with Allison Mott. ALISONMOTT is his wife.
Uh,
So I
well,
I
shame
I
on you
can't.
two.
She covers for him for police, and every time he's broken in and assaulted me, this person has assaulted me on, like, it's like over 20 times.
And
It's
some
pretty disgusting.
vigilante justice.
Yeah, yeah. So um
The
so
peaceful,
there's that.
lawful kind.
So they broke they he broke into he started breaking into my other house, and it caused a rift between me, my boyfriend at the time, and the other roommates. And um they took, like, of him just like stealing stuff from other people's rooms and then like putting it elsewhere, and then we all started not trusting each other, and it became this, like, this toxic household. And then I ended up moving out, and I ended up breaking up with Quinn because of it, because I just didn't understand what was going on. And so that's like the first part also of how this person, who became, he's like one of my main gang stalkers, how he became, like, he got all the information to upload my stuff to the dark web,
You could
or
probably get
to
rid of
deceive
him the
people.
same way they're trying to get rid of us, use their tactics, like, put his face on a flyer or something in the neighborhood so he wants to move out of it, stuff like that. There's plenty of tactics that you can use to get him by the balls and make
I'm
him run
afraid
for his
that
life.
if I do something like that, that this person is going to come and kill me.
Oh, okay.
I am
Yeah.
afraid. I'm afraid that he would break in and like stab me to death or some weird shit.
All
He's
right.
like that. If he loses control, he's the type of person. That's why it scares me, because I tried to get a restraining order against him. He didn't even show up for court, and the judge did not give me that after I gave her recordings and pictures of all of the horrific things he did to me. And I told her how he trafficked me, and she said that this is not a place for mental health. And I
Yeah.
said, what does
So
being
judge's name. You know the judge's name?
I do not have that information at the time. I did file it at the Dover courthouse in New Hampshire, and it was yeah, yeah, it was a female judge though that was there, and she denied. Everybody told me that I was going to probably get it because he didn't show up, and she declined it to me, even though I had loads of information and other people. I represented myself because I don't have very much money anymore, and yeah, this is the type of
You think maybe he's like
it's
a
big.
handler or something?
He tries to be my handler. Yeah, he tries to be my handler.
Do you
I think
think that he's
it was a
hired?
soft introduction. Here's the thing though, is that I think it was a soft introduction because Greg Nixon, who is dying because he's old as fuck and he drinks too much, he I think he was my old handler, and he like helps spy, and they have him like set up now. He's got like a really nice car. He's got his own money and stuff, and it's because he was an informant for the government, on me. And they have him in a pretty cush life now. He always lives close by me, and I'm like curious as to know if he has a house or something in this neighborhood, because I did see him come onto my property already, and I've already seen that he's driving a car that has West Virginia plates on it.
Uh,
So it's very bizarre. Like, they have cars that have the state plates that I live in. You know, it's like I've moved all over the country, And every time I've seen them drive off, and I mark the days, and I will call the police and try to do the reports, and like I tell them like this has been going on, and then the police try to discredit me, and they tell me how are these people, like why would they follow you across the country? Because they were trafficking me, and I didn't even realize it because of my head injury. I had no idea that that was happening. So they like I believe that I believe that Finn was the cult leader. And I so they have they there was a piece of paper that I think that this is really important. There was a piece of paper that I found that had this like old English writing um on it, and it was an invitation, and they had it in the store, and it said what is it, a feast for lovers of the beautiful. And a good friend of mine that I was doing activist work with for human trafficking, um, I'm not going to name him, but because they look for him too. But he helped me understand that um, what is it? This is the type of language that these Illuminatists and Freemasons, like this is the type of shit that they like to, they use this type of language. So a feast for lovers of the beautiful is like them feasting on, you know, you know. So and they, the way that they looked at each other, it was Finn and Jonathan. I'm not going to use his fake name. Jeffrey Sonnen and Jonathan Sawyer. They faced each other and they're like, "Do you remember that one?" And Jonathan looks at him and he's like, "Oh yes, how could I forget?" So they sit there and they they were getting off on it together. You know, they sit, and that's like they love it. They like sit and, you know, and I am going to say this, if I ever ended up murdered, or if anything ever happened to me, it's probably Jonathan Sawyer that did that to me. I have to, I feel I had like this something come over me, like I had to say that right now. um I am in for I'm not in fear for my life as far as like getting up, leaving, going out every day. It's coming home and wondering if this person is in my home, hiding, waiting for me to fall asleep, because that's how creepy he is. So um so
She had a dog.
when I was there, I have a dog, but it's not the dog that would, you know, take care of everything. I am looking into getting a pit bull or
One that
something
barks
much
a lot.
larger. Yeah. So but I wouldn't, like, usually, you know, in our cases, being a targeted individual, they tend to poison or hurt animals, which is why I gave up my dog. So, and it like that, like it like hurts my heart to think about, you know, because I don't want to bring that on anybody, um, especially animals. So yeah, so this, I mean, like he pretty much wrecked my life. He like robbed me, made me think that like it was, I had people against me, created scenarios and stuff. That's where like the gaslighting, the crazy gaslighting started happening, to the point where I broke up with my boyfriend. I moved back onto the property, and then what was it, then I realized that I just created access for them again. I was living upstairs, so Finn's house is right here, but then there's like a separate apartment that you can go up these back stairs. And there was a girl, she was living there before, and I had gone up to her one day in town. I was like, "Hey, why did you like move off the property? I'm living in your room now." And she's like, "I found Finn, I found Jeffrey in my room, and he was going through my stuff." So she left, and so they were doing that to her too. So it's anybody that goes, it's not just me, it was any female that is tied to that property will, like, they, if she's alone, they will extort and use her for anything that she's got. It's disgusting. So
What's his
um
name again?
I
Finn
moved
what?
into Jeffrey Sonnen.
Why is it Finn?
JEFFREY and then SONIN.
Uh, and
And
Finn's
he's
his
from New
nickname or something?
Jersey. Yeah, his name, he goes by Phineas.
Oh.
So what is it? So I was living on that property. I moved back in there, and then after she told me that, I realized it was like, okay, so it's these people that are doing this stuff. And then I started to really like connect the dots. I'm like, okay, so maybe it is Jonathan. And I was like, I doubt he would do that. Maybe it was Greg. It was all of them. They were all synchronistically like, or like, you go here, we got her here, well, you do this, and then we'll fuck with her over here and everything. It was like, it was a whole trade-off of them just like trying to control me pretty much. um there was one day I woke up and what is it, so I forgot about this. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around again. I was sitting for Jonathan. I found the gloves behind his his bookshelf, and I got really upset, and I called him out for it, and I found them, and I was just like, I was like, look, I found these behind your bookshelf. And he's like, no. And he's like sitting there trying to gaslight me again, to the point where I slapped him in the face with the gloves. And I was like, don't touch my shit. And I just walked away from him, because I don't like, I saw the, I have hit this person probably in his face like 3 separate occasions, because he tried to do this like demeaning patriarchal stuff with me. And I knew that he was messing with me, and he thought that he could control me. And I let him know by force that, like, you're not going to talk to me like that. And I don't like, that's like my last resort. Usually I do not hurt people, but in
How's
that
this guy
case,
talk?
because he's a psych.
How is he talking to you? We want to hear it so we can hate him a little bit more.
um let's see, he
Get an
used
angry mob on
to,
him.
uh what is it, I don't know, he used to make fun of me. Like, it was just like, it was the dumbest. Like, he would say to me, like, when I found when him and his wife went out of town, and he asked me if he wanted me to use his computer, he'll show me how to use it. And I was like, I know how to use a computer. I was like, I'm not going to use your computer. But he went out of town, and I used his computer. And because that's the type of stuff. So he would try to demean me as if I don't know how to do something. Like, like at that time, it was 2019. I'm like, this is not 1952. I know how to use a laptop. And like, I know, what are you talking about? He would just try to make it seem like I'm the man. I'm going to show you how this is
Did he
done, type
talk to you
thing.
like you were his child?
Yeah, he would talk to me like a child. Pretty.
Uh,
Why?
just because it sounds like he's got some serious like sociopathic, psychopathic, controlling narcissistic tendencies. Um,
Right. Right. Let me actually, I'm going to, give me 1 second. So yeah, it's like a mix between, can you still hear me?
yep.
He is a mix between a narcissist and a sociopath. I don't know what you would call that. So while I was using his computer while he was gone, I was I saw in the corner of his computer, I saw my name. I saw it just said Katascha, and he
We call it a narcissistic sociopath.
I mean, it was he has no feelings for homeless people. But anyways, I saw the folder with my name on it. He also had child pornography on his computer.
What?
Give me 1 second.
Why didn't you tell the
Yes.
FBI that shit? You could have got rid
I
of him.
did. No, I told police that and everything. There was still no investigation on this person. That's how like deep that goes.
Is this guy like?
Um,
Is he connected with anybody? Is there any kind of way that we can like
I
get him?
how I can't seem to turn my I cannot turn my
The camera?
uh,
It's skipping out on you. You might have to leave and come back. Please hold, ladies and gentlemen, experiencing some technical difficulties. Let's see. Let's see. So, if you haven't seen what a targeted individual is, you need to look it up because these kinds of occurrences, although it may seem civil, aren't always as civil as they may seem. These kinds of occurrences are usually influenced by some kind of syndicate of criminals, or these individuals, these perpetrators, work together in groups in their organized crimes so that they can get away with these things. So keep that in mind,
Hi.
ladies and gentlemen, that these people work together in groups. That's why they call it gang stalking, because they are ganging up on their innocent victims, mostly women and children. And, a lot of them have these sociopathic, narcissistic tendencies where, they have to control everybody. Oh, okay.
Looks like this is him. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's her.
Huh. She looks really fragile.
Oh, he has punched her in the face before, but not in front of me. I just saw the mark on her eye. Like it was like a little punch mark right there.
Does he
So
drink? Does he do drugs? Does
I'm
he do
not scared.
anything?
No, I think he does drugs. I don't think he drinks. But he's the person. He's the perp that collected all of my information and began to rob me blindly. So him and his wife could go on vacations together because there were people that reported to me in that town. They're like, oh, I Jonathan hasn't gone on a vacation in like 10 years because he can't afford it because he is living in subsidized housing and he makes about like 500 a month. So he can, because he's collecting checks from the government. He strictly lives off of the government. And he found out that I am a part of MK Ultra. And I think that those people contacted him to, you know what I mean, like get the information and stuff. And because he's a psychopath and he's obsessed with me,
Yeah,
he
that's who they go
you know
after.
he
They go after the people that have
um
sociopathic tendencies
yeah. And
or
then and
narcissistic
from
even.
what I read on the CIA archives, actually in their library, and you can find that on CIA.gov, within the library of MK Ultra files, they will contact occult leaders in small towns to recruit children and people, just children to young adults, to for programming for their different programs that they have currently right now. So I think that that Finn and them, if you look in Vermont through the 1970s, there has, from I think 1967 or something, around that time, it was the first person that went missing. All of these people fall within a 15-year age gap. It's like 15 years. So they're 15 years apart, and like of the people that they took, and they all have the same MO. It was the black sheep. It was the person that people were, it's like, oh, they were just, like they were just emotionally checked out or whatever from most people, and they would go missing. And I think that these people in the state of Vermont, I mean, like if you look at their backgrounds, and these are all people that went missing, I think that this stuff has been happening since the 60s over
Oh
there.
yeah, it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah. So if you understand the occult, and you understand the all of and the programming and everything, like it, yeah, you just look at it and you're like, well, yeah, that's what that is. It's not hard to figure out, and they'll never find it. They have burial ground for all of these, deep into the woods somewhere on somebody's property.
So
That comes from generational wealth in that area. And that's the thing, though, is that Burlington is looked at as a liberal place. It's not. It's Republicans making money off of liberal agenda. That's it. They would go bankrupt. That town would go bankrupt otherwise, if they did not say to the students, oh yeah, we're pro LGBTQ, we're pro this, we're pro that. They don't believe in any of that stuff. They're just making money on the kids. That's
yeah,
what people believe in.
yeah,
And they hate that I know that. They hate that I see that.
yeah.
And I'm okay with saying all of no. I do not care. I already feel it's like to wake up every day and know that, like, yeah, like I just heard, yeah, they were honking. Somebody was honking when I just said that. They're like, "Da-da-da-da," and like, and then they just sped off. I could hear that in front just now.
Hmm.
So these are the types of tactics that they do. They don't want me to put I if police are not going to do anything for me because they want to be a part of this elitist pedophilia agenda, it's good for me to put this out here, at least, so there's some exposure, because if anything happens to me, at least I have record of all of this.
Yeah.
If police can't even make a police report, and they're sitting there, which has already happened, they sat there, they didn't even spell my name correctly. He has a body cam on that he can review, as well as he was recording me, as well as he's writing it down. So how do you mess up all of that information? And then he would ask me a question and then stop me and go to the next question, and it didn't even let me finish everything, and he didn't even write everything down. And then I got the report back of a break-in that occurred from these assholes, and I even got a plate number for the time that they went through my mailbox, and still nothing was done. A plate number. I gave police a plate number, watched the person drive off. They went to the mailbox. I gave the description thing, and still nothing. Nothing. So it's like they're allowed to do, until I physically caught them on camera or like kill them on my property. Like, that's the only way of proving something like this is happening, which is ridiculous.
Can I ask,
So
what are some of the things, like when you first started getting targeted, or when you learned about it, what are some of the things that you found that were similar that you experienced that other people were experiencing worldwide? Like, what did you
uh,
experience that you found that other targets were experiencing when you first started finding out about it?
it's a good question. So I didn't realize how many people were involved, which was insane, and then like once I did. So I experience I've only gotten V2K twice. So that I understood. What is it? When I was leaving Vermont, there was a government car, license plate number 7. And it was that this guy was following me, and he was also a part of an incident that was a part of my stalking. And he was also recording me at the beach. So I guess people videoing you in public,
Following you?
that's
Anyone saying
yeah.
your name out loud?
Yes, yeah. My current ex-boyfriend, he witnessed, he's like, that I think that girl just said your name and stuff. We were out in public one day.
Uh,
It's stuff like that. And I told him, I was like, yeah, that's one of my gang stalkers. He's like, please don't say anything to her and stuff, because it, like, he knows that I go off on them. I'll go up to him and be like, oh, you like you like sucking new world order D and stuff. Like I will make them feel as uncomfortable as they make me feel. So
Uh, uh,
I play with them now. So because they don't scare me any.
uh, oh, I think her phone died or something. But yeah, that's what they do. They will usually start out stalking people, doing this psychological operation, by saying the person's name, by driving erratically around the person intentionally wherever they're walking or they're driving. They'll beep at them. They'll, make direct eye contact and throw up weird, like devil horns and like this or like this or like this, all kinds of hand signs to let you know. And it's not just one person or a few people. It's daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, like all the time. A lot of people, like in gangs, like following you around that they've employed, that they've hired, or that they've gotten to do this stuff.
I
So
met you fell out. It fell out.
I don't know, sorry.
What did you say?
I was saying that what they do is they start out by saying your name, and then they'll start stalking you around more, and they want to make you appear to sound crazy and look crazy when you're talking about it. And this
Right.
is what gaslighting and psychological operations
Right.
are intended to do. That's what they're for.
Right.
That's
Right.
literally the number one reason why they do them. That's
Right.
why they do them.
Right. And it's government affiliated because I've seen like so on so many levels. Like I've seen on, and I think my mom's second ex-husband, I'm pretty sure that he's also a part of it because I definitely saw him ride on his bicycle past me in Venice Beach. I was like, are you kidding me? And he's also affiliated. He worked for the DOD.
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually
DOD is definitely connected.
Oh no, not
And,
DOD. Department of Treasury. No, he worked
oh,
there,
I
but
don't know about them.
he knows guys in DOD, knows guys in CIA, knows like all these people. And
They're
the
all
guy,
connected.
the guys in yeah, the guys that came and saw me in New York. My mom, she sits and denies it, and she's like, "We didn't send anybody like that." No, you did. They did not want me going out of the country because I'm a part of this program. And they thought that I was going to move to Croatia and never come back. And I was used for psyops and other. Let's actually let's go into let me really quickly break it down of so long story short, moved back to Virginia with after all of the debauchery from those people on that property and how slimy they are. They're the last I was leaving. I was going to leave that property a week before I was leaving. I think it was a week or two before. um, Jonathan broke in to my room in the middle of the night, raped me, uh, laid a cloth down. And I remember that I couldn't move, but I could feel everything that he was doing. He raped me, laid a cloth down for catching his semen, and then folded it up, took it with him because I watched him do this to me. But before he did all of that, he took a drill and he drilled into 3 or 4 of my teeth. And I also reported that to my dentist, and my dentist was also a part of it. He covered it up. They fixed it, and they didn't report it to police or anything. I later tried to report it to police, and they said it was a time lapse, but there was no time lapse. It worked like police and these types of groups, like they're everywhere. It's because a lot of them are participating in the pedophilia, in the trafficking, and they have video and recording evidence on these people. So they have to, when people like me come in and talk about this type of stuff, they will cover it up to the best of their ability, you see? And then, so that all got swept under the rug. He also told me to write on a piece of my dentist told me to write on a piece of paper everything that happened. And I gave it to him so that he could tell it to police. Then I came back and he's like, "Oh yeah, I lost that paper. I don't even really recall what you were talking about," because he was an
Uh,
informant. So
so I
nothing
want to
became.
let everyone know too that it goes beyond this stuff. That all this gang stalk and all these FBI agents that are involved, all the CIA agents, all these government agents that are involved. Just so you know, they're using they're pointing a finger using terrorism. This is counterintelligence. This is satanic deception. You know why? Because they're the terrorists. You know why? Because they're using fear, threats, and intimidation in pursuit of their aims. And that is the definition of terrorism.
So yeah, they covered that up. I went to my mom's after that. Um, they were giving me also modafinil when I was on the property because I would run out of my. I was taking 15 milligrams of Adderall to stay awake to fight heavy fatigue because of my head injury when I was staying there, and I had to do. I like that's my background. I was doing production, and I know how to build. I can build walls. I can build pretty much anything. You know, like I used to love doing stuff like that. I like with my hands, and so those guys were also giving me modafinil, and at times I was taking LSD, and during one of my my neurologist had gone out of town, and there was a man that was covering for her that was seeing her patients. Are you still there?
Mhm.
Okay, so I he comes in one day, and I was sitting in his office. Actually, I was standing up. Yeah, I was sitting down, then I stood up, and then he came in, and I turned around, and then he said it was hard for him to open the door from the other side, and he told me that he was like, yeah, this door is being very Malicent. And when he said Malicent, I had passed out right in front of him. And that is a word like I will never forget because it's one of their words.
Trigger,
They
hypnotic
create
trigger
passwords.
word.
They create passwords within trafficking victims. They will create passwords within women and within their altars, and they will um, they that was one of mine, and that's how I found out. A doctor said that to me. And I mean, do you ever hear anybody say that word? Really? It's an old Italian word. I looked that up as well. It's a not a lot of people are going to say that type of word. So
What is
that
the word
they
again?
operate mal mal Malicent.
Does that mean like
Malicent.
it
It's
doesn't
like,
want to open up?
yeah, it's
That's
something hard
you.
to open.
I think that's you is what they're multiple meanings or whatever. Like trying to
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
As soon as you said
So
it, I thought it too before you even said it.
yeah, so it's something that's hard to open. Um, so that was one of the passwords that existed in me, and he asked me. I like woke up, and he's like, have you ever been hypnotized before? And I was like, no, I don't understand. And he's like don't let any, he's like, in the history of me, my profession, I've never seen anything like.
There been some more technical difficulties, but yes, that's what they do. The CIA, the Illuminati, the Satanists, the Luciferians, these sickos. They use fear, trauma, and satanic ritual abuse. They use our governments. They use people worldwide to run these operations on mostly women and children and turn them into their sexual slaves. And they program these multiple personalities into their heads, and then they use these trigger words, which are hypnotic triggers, to activate the dissociative identity disorder or the multiple split personality disorder in the victim at any time, and then proceed to do whatever they want. And usually with no recollection in the victim afterwards, because they have been compartmentalized in the mind, so that way they have no memory or recollection of what took place when they were the alter.
Right. Right. So, what is it? Yeah. So the doctor, he wrote that down for me, and then he told me, he's like, don't ever let anybody say this word to you. I was at my friend John's. I had him say it to me. He said I walked out of the house. And then I came back and I passed out on the couch. He said I was gone for 2 hours, and then I came back and I passed out on the couch. I have no idea where I went. I have no idea I have no idea. Currently this last year, I had my ex-boyfriend say it to me and nothing happened. So that's good.
They might have took it out because they were worried about getting caught with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like, is that possible though? Can they reprogram you
They can do
to?
it from a distance with their technology. They can talk right in your head, and that's how they program you with the voices. The voices is the programming.
Right.
So, and then when you're going to sleep at night, people that don't know this, the mind is wide open for hypnotic suggestion when you're unconscious. Everything they say into your head when you're sleeping can go right into your mind. So they can program you while you're sleeping. And as long as if the government or somebody doesn't do something to stop this stuff, we're just sitting ducks.
It's under.
Yeah, and so are they. The president's a sitting duck. The most powerful human on this planet is a sitting duck.
So, and then you're doing this. I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
But that's the ultimate Trojan horse, ladies and gentlemen. You thought the original Trojan horse was a Trojan horse? This gives new meaning to Trojan horse. And that and the vaxes and the nanotech connecting you even more to more advanced sophisticated technologies and techniques that they can use with them. So this is all demonic possession. That's what this is. Because mind control equals possession slowly over time. So they say mind control, and it sounds crazy. But you know what? We know what it really is, don't we? And that's not crazy, because we know that's real.
So this was a recording. I just want to share this for a second. This was a recording from my mom. This was when I was about to go into the courts to get a restraining order against Jonathan Sawyer. And this was me asking my mom some questions because she observed my body when I came back from Vermont. I had woken up at one point and a man was like standing over me and like proceeded to start climbing on me. And it was around the time that I would originally like take naps in the middle of the day to rest. And that's how I figured out that they were trafficking me. So in late September of 2000, was September of 2019, when you retrieved me from the train station after coming from Burlington, Vermont, of the property that Jonathan Sawyer was working at. What is it that you noticed is with me showing you my body for the first time of me trying to take a shower? What is it that you observed? You had bruises on the inside of your legs, all over your legs. I think there were bruises on your arms too. How big were the bruises? Large. They weren't small. They were pretty large, like the size of, I don't know, maybe 3-4 inches. Okay. And then is there anything else that you observed? No, you were quite distraught. Okay. Yeah. What did the bruises look like? Were they like, what can you like describe the coloration or like anything Right. Just red and purple marks that look like you have maybe a fingerprint somewhere. I can't remember. I think that was on your legs. It looked like there was like fingerprints where somebody had, held me down, squeezed you or something. Okay. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. So yeah, it was all over my body. I had literally, and I had pictures of all of that. These people broke in when I was at my mother's and wiped my whole entire cell phone of those photos. They installed malware first in the middle of, like, they installed whatever on my phone in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. Okay. It does not take that long. And then they started mirroring my cell phone after that because they wanted to see how much I knew. Am I going to pursue them in court? And these are the people that are still after me after this long because they know that. And they even Greg Nixon and for what was it was around 4th of July of 2019 also asked me if I knew what MK Ultra was. So I know that these assholes have been in contact with you, Greg Nixon. I know that you're an informant for the CIA, the government, whatever, and that you're living a little cush life and everything, driving your expensive
Absolutely
cars.
CIA.
Yeah,
Absolutely FBI and CIA involved in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, the Finders scandal, they've been taking your kids underground too. All these kids that go missing, yeah, look at the
yeah,
CIA and the FBI.
yeah. That's what they in December of this last year of December of 2022 around Christmas time, they tried to kidnap me. They synchronized of me walking in Venice Beach. They synchronized on one of the blocks. This guy was walking. I'm walking towards him, and he's slowly walking downhill. And then all of a sudden, I saw a van creep up, and they organized it. He was trying to push me into the van and stuff, but he was too tiny. And I took off walking the other way because I saw the synchronization. The door was open to the van. So they have people within communities right now in the United States that are just driving around finding women that are small, unaccompanied. They're even in New York. You can look this up in the New York Post. My sister showed this to me the other day. They have there was no police report, and the only way that they would know that this woman was kidnapped on the street, the guy literally scooped her up, threw her in a van, was from a stoplight camera.
Wow.
And that happened like 5 days ago. And you can find that. It's in the New York Post. Woman scooped up, trafficked, threw her in a van. And there was no police report because she probably is like living, working there by herself. And she's tiny. She was 5. A lot of these people like to get women that are either small and petite like me and range from 5'1" to 5'5". It's rare that they take a 5'7" type person. It's very rare, but they do it. That is true. It's very rare, but they want to pick up. They go usually for single women that are easy to scoop up and that they can handle. So
Wow.
yeah.
I
So
just
I
saw a
have
video the other day about these two uh guys that got caught in a neighborhood trying to pick up some kids, and the woman was yelling at him saying, "Hit him again!" Like, yeah, you think you're
yeah.
gonna get away
Oh,
with
I
this?
saw that.
And
No, yeah, I
it's
saw that. I saw
beautiful.
that.
It's beautiful. That's how people should be. They should
Yeah.
have no mercy. No
They
mercy.
need to
No more bullshit in court.
just
No more.
just like there's gang stalking in these communities, and then these are the types of people that are running for these pedophiles. So
There's
you
too
have
many to
people.
have court cases. There's too many of them. And the system's rigged. It's not going to work.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
we need
No.
our soldiers. We need our honorable men and women out there who have weapons to go and do your jobs. That's it. It's your oath. It's the law. There's no posse comitatus anymore. There's no due process. So you know what you got to do.
Right. Also, I wanted to say to you really quickly, if you could chop this up to what is it? Like this is the live version right now, right? So if you could chop this up and make it into a cleaner version that I can use because I have to send this to people, like send people from other platforms over to this and everything, because I want to be able to also send you my all of the files, documentate recordings. You know what I mean? If you can do all of that, could you do that or no?
Yeah, if you send me all of it at
All of
once,
it? Yeah.
once I have all of it, I'll make the video.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
That
awesome.
way I
No,
don't have to edit anymore and
right. And what is it? So I don't know. So like they continue to stalk me when I was in Virginia. My mom, she like we moved from one house. I remember getting there and then she didn't want to, she was renting at the time and then she didn't want to rent from that guy anymore and we ended up moving. And that was also around the time that I started seeing Jonathan Sawyer in her neighborhood, and then he started breaking in, he started stealing pieces of, like, I would have projects and he would take like the screws out of things and like he would just sell, it was sabotage after sabotage. And it sounds it like people say like that sounds crazy, but there are people out there that think on that kind of level to have control over somebody because they're that lost in themselves and their lives and everything.
yeah,
Type of person
they
exists.
really are doing.
So what is it, police kept demeaning my situation, and they said to me, they're like, why would someone come from here to stalk you? I was like, he's obsessed with me. And they're like, well, that doesn't sound that doesn't sound like a normal thing. I was like, why are you saying that? I don't, like, that doesn't make sense. There are stalking cases, like it, they're serial killers. Like, what are you talking
I think
about,
these
you
people are
know?
being manipulated in real time. I think that's why we're having trouble because everyone, and it's too crazy to say it, but I'm saying it anyway. People, now that we know, people are being manipulated in real time.
I think so too. I think so too. I think that because what I told you about with my roommate, how they programmed him in that moment, and then they had him do that scenario on me 5 years later, and like that's the type of technology that they have. So they could, this is on a mass scale now because that was 5 years ago. So they could be, it's like like having people like in that type of trance. It's essentially like everybody's under a spell type
Yeah.
thing.
It's all big picture too. They're not seeing it big
Neuro
picture, the
program.
police and stuff.
But we can't say that because then people will be like, oh, that doesn't exist, you guys are crazy and stuff.
I
So
know, I know.
neural, it's neural programming, and it's a real thing, and there's patents of it. So
Well,
to
think
all
about
the
it.
non-believers,
What they're doing
I
with
don't
us.
know, I didn't know about any of the shit as of like 4 years ago. I just wanted to become a fucking stylist, okay? Like, I didn't know what fucking MK Ultra was. I didn't know any of this shit, and now I'm like the creme de la creme of conspiracy theorists, as they
I wouldn't
call
have believed in this either if I didn't
it. Yeah,
experience it myself. And actually, I still didn't believe it while I was experiencing it myself for years. I had to talk to other people and hear their experiences and know that it's real.
right. Same,
Yeah.
same, same. And like how they plant people and they do street theater and like all the crazy shit. It's like,
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's
I
how you know
experienced
it's
a
real
lot of it.
too, because they're brainwashing your head or they're trying to. They're manipulating your dreams. They're stalking you around. They got, freaking words on the license plates, high, buy, and die after one another.
Yeah.
They're threatening you. They're ruining your jobs. Everywhere you go, something fucking goes wrong. There's people treating you like shit, looking at you like shit for no good reason. They don't even know you, you know. And
Right.
it's always the same thing. Oh, you're imagining it or whatever. No, we're not. It's obvious. We're not imagining it. Hundreds of millions every single day say we're not imagining it, so we're not imagining it. It's obvious. The government's doing it to us. Government agents came forward and said that the government's doing this to us. Government agents that did it to us too. Now it's done to them.
Yeah.
Like Robert Duncan, CIA, Ted Gunderson, Brian Kaufman, the list goes on and on and on. How many celebrities are trafficked every day too and mind controlled? How many are MK Ultra? How many are in the same exact situation as both of us right now that are they're
Right.
Hollywood celebrities that you all know about? How many have
Right.
alter egos, multiple personality disorder, Illuminati handlers? How many?
Right.
because they're a threat to the system. Because if they ever speak out, millions of people will hear what they say, and it may never end after that. It may lead down the rabbit hole, everybody down the rabbit hole, expose all of existence itself, all of reality, all the crimes, all the lies, all the evils, more and more. And that they can't have
Well,
that.
here's the thing is that I do truly believe that I think that there is something to that. I don't think that they can't just deprogram. I think that, like, here's the things that I do know about that is that if you if they don't want me to heal, that's why any new place I move to, they will try to break in and rape me. Okay, they do that so that I have to now live in the environment that happened in, so that there is no healing. Okay, because when you don't heal is when the the mind control and everything sticks. This is all on CIA archives. They
Yeah, it's
have
trauma-based
a
mind control, satanic
they
ritual abuse.
have, yes, yeah, and those people in that town, at one point I moved back there because they had programmed me to do that, because they, yeah, I will get into that stuff later. I don't feel like crying today. So um but I do know that at one point those people grabbed me from my bed, dressed me in just red underwear, put me on a slab in the middle of the woods, and they were doing rituals on me. I remember being in waking. I can hear myself. I remember waking at one point, and then I go back into like my deep sleep and stuff. But I saw people standing in black cloaks around me, and I saw the faces of some of the people in that town that are like very well known there. Just saying. So
Wow.
these, like, on a scale, and they didn't have torches. It wasn't all lit up. No, it was completely dark. There was no like ritual ceremonial thing where you can be seen and stuff. Like, it wasn't set up like that. It was like they were all in cloaks. It was very dark and stuff. And then, but I did see some of their faces because of the moonlight. And
Was it a full moon by any chance?
I think so. It's possible because I remember the moonlight being strong. So. I don't remember what I can't say if it
There's a
was a.
lot of Hollywood celebrities that came forward already talking about these, rituals and how they do it in basements at parties and they'll take you out in the woods and try to put demons in you or do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
So
if they were drawing forth something, they were, yeah, I remember that they were drawing forth something to come into me. I think that they were trying to sacrifice me. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't, but yeah, they um I remember being on a slab. So there is a slab somewhere in the woods in Burlington, Vermont, that is like they're doing this, and it's far it's far enough, like, from where I was living at 187 Pearl Street in Burlington, Vermont, which right now that woman is doing a huge um she's doing a huge what's it called, renovation in her building, because she knows that I know what she's doing, and she knows that I'm exposing her right now because she was a part of human trafficking. And um, Sylvie Le Pen where does she live? She lives in Chicago now. Her father lives in Burlington. That place, I found out after moving into that apartment building, that place used to be a whorehouse in the 70s.
it'd be interesting if the next time they went to do a little ritual in the woods with their black robes, if somebody just picked them all off, and then if the cops showed up, they're all wearing satanic robes in the woods. How are they going to explain that? I
Right.
think they just covered
No,
up.
but that's the thing, though, is that there were probably policemen standing within that group because of how large it was. There was at least stoplight town. It's that
They can't
small.
have anybody good.
Stoplight town. It's that
They can't
small.
have anybody good when there's evil. When there's
Yeah.
evil in an area, and there's these secret societies. They can't have good people around. They got to corrupt it. They got to taint it. Anyone of God is going to be messed with. Anyone speaking the truth is going to be messed with. And even anyone beautiful, anyone that's good looking, is going to be messed with their jealousy and their ugliness. That they know they have.
Yeah. It's based on jealousy. Yes, you are correct about that.
They know they're going to hell, or they believe they are.
Yeah, it's all based on jealousy. That's why they did what they did to me. They threw me in and trafficked me, and now they like, even the police around that town. After I had I found one of the child uh I found one of the children's Instagrams on that was being trafficked in my building. I I reported that to Instagram and I reported it to police. And the day that I came in and showed them her picture, they said, "Prove it to me." I said, "That's the same church. You can clearly tell that's the same church. These curtains, these assholes stole from me in my apartment because they're from the 60s or 70s. It's this weird print. You can't find that stuff online." And I got those at a thrift store, and they took them from my apartment because they were missing, and they used them in theirs to cover their windows for the child trafficking that they were doing. And I would hear what sounded like a ball and chain being dragged on the floor above me. And the day that they got her, the container that she came in that had 3 holes drilled into the side of it, they threw it into my apartment as a fuck you. Yeah, and I took that to police too. The police threw it away. They threw everything away. They threw away the shirt of the semen that Jonathan had also used in another rape, and it had his semen on it, and they threw that away. Because I called them. It what if they when they got it processed, I asked like what were the results for it. Sorry, we don't know what you're talking about. So a lot of this stuff got covered up, and that town, they all like these towns through the United States are this is on a mass scale. That's what's so like scary about it, is that this is on a mass scale where these people think that we are their slaves, and that's why they're doing this type of stuff to us, Devin. They think that we pissed one of their people off because they're a
The
part of
demons.
the problem, and that they don't like us, and they are going to now, like, they're jealous or whatever it is about us, and then they're out to ruin our lives. And this it's state funded too.
I think it's because the FBI supersedes the police and they're involved, and the CIA, I think, has more power than the FBI, or they just work together. So the cops can't do anything, and the CIA and the FBI can go in there at any time and throw anything out, do whatever they want to do, because they're
they've they,
dirty.
they showed me recently, and they're using the Bible against me, is that when you the rule is that you have to go home. In the Bible, it states, because I told one of those, uh, I told Greg Nixon was in California, and he turned all these people in Venice against me to be a part of the gang stalking, to where I was walking and people are just staring at me, and I was like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden people start pointing and laughing at me, and I have no idea what is going on. And to the point where I had an anxiety attack, because it was literally like 100 people around me at once, and it scared me because I was like, am I about to be attacked? What is happening and stuff? And I'm like walking I was walking into a trap pretty much, and that this person set for me. And um, so I went, so uh, like, what essentially, where was I going with that? So he set up for these people to like, he trashed me to all of these people in Venice, and they knew my face already, and they did that to me. And but in actuality, they just sided with my rapist. You know, it's yeah, and somebody that trafficked me. So, and they, so because, oh, that's what it was. Because I told somebody there that he should die. I literally said
Good
that
guy.
he should die.
There's always
So
somebody to die. I
what
know.
they're doing now, and maybe this will change the narrative for them, because if I say this out loud, their narrative always change because they are full-blown narcissists and they don't like to be wrong. Okay, so when you can see what they're doing in real time, then call it out, because then it foils their plans, because they don't like to be wrong. That's working against them. It's a good tactic to use. So because I'm here now in my family's home, what they're trying to do to accomplish is they said that I have to wait here for a certain amount of time, and the person that with this is in the Bible, I believe it's that the person that I attempted murder on is what they say, because I said that because I told this guy, I was like, beat the shit out of him for me, please, and stuff. And because I saw him, we both saw him. He knew him, and I said that I was just like, beat the shit out of him. He killed this girl and stuff. He did in Vermont. Him and those guys that I told you about, and their friend who no longer lives on that property that I never met. They killed this girl named Darshana, and you can also find her if you look up Darshana, Burlington, Vermont. It says that she died of suicide in the woods and hung herself from a tree. If you saw the tree that she was hung from, you would know that you would need like a lever system and all this other shit to really get up there. Just saying. And police were totally down to write it off as a suicide. So anyways, and it's sad. And her family also did not give a shit to look into that. They seem like pretty cold people. I've met them. So, but she was just like us, you know, very outgoing, very loving, very, all of the things.
I
So,
like to prey on the innocent people or people that
she was
are good.
beautiful. She was innocent. She was very sweet, very soft spoken and everything, but also a rebel, you know, and yeah, they hate that. They hate what they're not. So, so they so I said that to this guy. I'm now here, and it says within the Bible, because they think I'm a Jezebel is what they paint me out to be, which makes me laugh. I wish I was having sex right now. Anyway, so she it says in the Bible that you have to uh you have to go back home to where you're from, and then you wait for a certain period, and the person that you try to do that against gets to decide like when they kill you or when they what is to be done with you, pretty much.
Then how come that doesn't happen to them afterwards? It doesn't just keep going.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to justify what they're doing because they think that they work for the higher almighty and stuff. Like you see what I'm saying? Like they're twisting the Bible in a really sadistic way.
Yeah, they are.
That's what yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. But
They tried to get
everything.
me to go to they had this um one of their friends had a party on an island. It was like an Illuminati party and stuff, and they tried to get me to go at one point. I'm really happy that I didn't. I almost did, and I was like, wait, what? So yeah, but I didn't go. That's good.
That's good, yeah. I heard some of them, they make you prick your finger at the door. You got to give them
Yeah,
your
because give
phone and
them the
prick your
blood.
finger,
Yeah,
sign a contract to
yeah.
waive your, you can't
That's
sue or
what.
whatever.
So when I was living in New York, I worked with this. His name was Casey Chrysler, and he is a couch casting piece of shit. What is it? He tried to sleep with the girl that I was working with, knew me, um, who she's been in like music videos and everything. Like he did that. He's like this guy is a scumbag, and he was also stalking me when I was in Los Angeles. He's also one of the gang stalkers because I'm sure he's not making very much money. But yeah, so uh, he was a part of that as well. But he was telling me that once I signed my contract with him, he told me he's like one day you're gonna sign your name in blood, and I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, most celebrities do. So, and
Yeah,
at
you'd
that
be right.
really that I like looked at that. So like yeah, they have you go through, it's like again, it's all camouflaged in life. They try to get you to go through these different stages of like how far would you go? You know what I
Yeah, because
mean?
they want you on their level.
Yeah.
Once they
So
get you low enough, now you're under their God and their control. that you don't have, like,
Right.
or they can convince you that God's no longer a part of your life. You're no longer with God, and now you're doomed with them. So give up
Yeah.
all hope and just be an evil scum like them.
Right. Oh man.
That's their goal. And if they can't make you actually go evil, they'll just frame you for being evil and use you to make everyone else corrupted by making you out to
Right.
be the villain that you're not, to get them to go against you and turn them into villains slowly more and more, like the government. Uh,
Yeah.
it's not your fault. Not my fault. Not our fault. That's their fault. They're the ones doing it. And it's the government's fault for falling for it. Stop being naive. Stop following corrupted orders. Stop committing crimes and calling it justice.
Do you think it's a possibility that this will end in our lifetime?
No.
You don't think
I
so?
think we're going to see the end of the world.
You think so?
Again, I think we're going to see the sky, the heavens fall. I think we're going to see the stars come down. I think we're going to see the sun black. I think we're going to see a lot of crazy shit in our lifetime, because all this is coming out. It says the definition of the apocalypse is the revelation of truth and then the destruction of the world.
Yeah.
So we got the revelation of truth now. What's next? The destruction of the world. These assholes, they want to keep lying. They want to be evil, conniving liars, and they're going so far as to point the finger at us and call us what they are and say we're going to burn in hell forever. So every
Yeah.
single thing they get caught for, they're gonna say they're not, and that someone else is, and then they're gonna try to sacrifice us and burn us alive forever in their
Yeah.
places. So they have to go. They're pure evil like that. That's beyond evil. They are the worst form of sociopaths, psychopaths. They are not trying to give up their power, anything. They're not trying to give up this planet and humanity and all the women and
Yeah,
children.
they said they let me know that this is their world. This is their world, and that we go to the kingdom, and that's it. We just need to check out.
That's what
So
they
I don't
told
know
me
if I'm
too. Leave life
I don't
every
know
day.
I don't know if I'm sitting here, but then also like why do they have the soul catcher machine? That's what is that for?
That's to
What do you think
capture
that
us, I think. They're trying to. I think they can catch us, or it's another deception. Either that,
like
or
when
they're
we're
actually
dying, right?
able.
When we're dying that they would catch us kind of
Yeah,
thing. That's
yeah,
what
they're
I think
trying to
too.
capture our soul matrix into their quantum
So that we can't be
supercomputer.
because they know that reincarnation's real.
They
And that's
want
what I
no, not even about reincarnation. They want to make it so we can't go up to the heavenly realms. We can't escape.
right.
So
And
they're
that's
telling
what
us
I'm
to
trying.
leave now while we still can. And I think we do that through the dark room retreat that I was saying stuff about before, where you convert your body into light, or you go to formlessness. You lose your form and you transcend the form and the matrix. And you can there's actually you can do this in the dark with other people. There's something called Montauk Chia, and people go into a room together, and that's how I want to do it. I want to find a bunch of TIs, find a dark room retreat, and go to it, or make our own, and just sit in the dark and just leave our bodies together, so that way nobody can mess with us. We don't have to worry about somebody coming and shooting us or whatever, or demons fucking with us in the dark or anything like that. We can to protect each other. But that's what people have been doing for centuries, for thousands of years. They go into the darkness and they completely disappear from this fucking reality. Like their whole body disappears. There's
Yeah,
people that
like
shrink
spontaneous
too.
combustion. I've seen that because, and they say that people that have experienced that, it has happened since like there's like a really amazing a record of occurrence of that happening in the early 1900s, and literally like they say that these people they turn into like their fillers were left behind and
Yep.
everything, but they just turn into light and it just
The rainbow
and
body,
stuff.
right?
So there was like a it was more like it's like spontaneous combustion, but they talk about light happening, white light. occurring within their bodies and everything. I am purifying right now. Like I stopped drinking coffee for some reason. Like that was weird. But then it also freaks me out because it makes me think like maybe they're having us do all of these purifications to take our bodies.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, I hope
Because
not.
we're young. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they want
So
vessels, that's for sure. They want our bodies. They want to like be us, but they're
yeah,
trying to trash. They're destroying our lives, but they're not destroying our lives so much that they can't take our lives anytime and be us.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what's scary about
Yeah.
that. I think on that now. It's like in terms of because they're getting old, but then it's like they could just take one of the children that they have underground. So why would they choose us?
Because we're their opposition. Because we're powerful people. We have all that intelligence, all that knowledge, all that power that they don't even have. So if they could
Right,
be us, then we could be them, you know?
right.
But I don't want that, obviously. I don't want to be taken over.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's I'm trying to. I'm just trying to understand all of it. It's like, yeah, and they're because I see now and I don't trust it. It's like these people that speak with spirit on TikTok and everything. I'm like, no, you're speaking with a demon right now. Like, let's not bullshit or get it twisted or anything. These like spiritual guides and everything. It was like, yeah, I used to be one of those, and then I saw like a demon standing in the living room once upon a time, and then I was like, never mind on that. Um, yeah, like I don't experience sleep paralysis again because I was communicating with spirit and everything. So, yeah, I think that like I it's they're talking about right now about people purifying their bodies and everything. So it freaks me out. And then if they have a
Oh, we got another technical difficulty here. If you guys haven't seen the previous testimonial video, please check it out before this one.
just like I don't know what happened. It keeps like shutting in and out, but it makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder on that if that's like we have to think on a larger scale of like what is their end goal in all of this, because they wouldn't want us like this is just a vessel, but we would reincarnate again later. But then what's better, not letting that soul reincarnate to have to find them all over again, you know? Think about that. I don't know.
I think we got to just get out of here. I've been talking about this for over a year now, multiple years, and it keeps coming back to this everywhere I go. It's like signs are telling me, get out of here, get out of life alive, leave, go to God, escape. And they keep telling me, leave life. This is Lucifer's world. This is Lucifer's playground. This is Lucifer's life. Blah, blah, blah. Lucifer's God here.
Yeah.
Leave. We're letting you leave. Leave or be doomed with us. Or, leave. Like, I feel like Lucifer himself
Yeah.
has been talking to me, or his son or something. And that's who's like messing with me. But I don't know. But, he's hinted to it over and over, saying, I'm God. The person that's messing with me is telling me he's God in my head. That I'm God. I'm your father. I made you. This is my planet. These are my people. Those are my women. That's my stuff. That's my government. I'm the government. I'm this. I'm that. So, basically telling me just leave life alive and get out of here. But also, saying that I'm going to burn in his heaven or in his hell either way. But, I believe that, we can get out of here and get to the real God, or get, to where we're supposed to be. And, I do believe it may be a losing battle, on our own, trying to fight, all the forces of evil at the same time, being in human forms. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of obvious it's a suicide mission. But I mean, we don't have much of a choice. Uh, but I think we should get
It feels
together.
like that though. No. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think we should all get
I was gonna
together
say
and travel out of here. Long story short.
they're trying to get us They're trying to get us, like, if you're not a part, if you don't want to be a part, like, they've already fucked our lives up to that point. So it's either it's checking out, because they won the battle, they won the battle, they say, and now what they're trying to do is set up so that I live in the middle of nowhere, and I'm living off of the land, and then I don't exist in
Yeah.
this world,
They're
pretty much.
setting us up. They put us at the crossroads so they can say, "Up, are you choosing the world and the devil god, or are you choosing to get out of here and real God? If you stay, up, you're
Hmm.
evil with us. If you leave, we'll see what happens." Like that's basically the
Yeah.
gist of what they're giving me. Like they're trying to set us up so that way they destroy our livelihoods. So that way there's
Same.
no way to survive without them and their systems and their money
Right.
and selling out. Unless we're completely fucked and we're just, hanging by a thread for the rest of our lives, sorry for my language, relying on God to keep us going, and that's what we are doing. We have God keeping us going. But yeah, guys, that's what they do. They sabotage all your ways to, live a law-abiding life without being broke, without, struggling, more than most people. So that's what they do. They want to set us up so that way, we're we're desolate and we're helpless and we rely on them, and so that way they can get us to try to get us to make that deal, sell our souls to them, their devil god, literally.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's their game of life here. Sell your soul or check out. Or fight the evils on your way out.
Do you think it's possible? I mean, like, it's, yeah, I guess because we're purifying ourselves and everything. Do you think? I think that there may come a point to where, what is it? I've heard that there's an energy shift that's coming, and that's like already taking place right now, and everything that things, because I'm starting to notice that things are shifting in my favor. Even though I have this stuff going on, it's like God is still setting me up
I
for.
feel that too. I noticed that as well.
So I don't
Getting
think
easier.
I think we should. It's like playing it. I don't think it's like checkout time. Honestly, like I think that this is some sort, like, everyone wants to result. Revelations always comes up when heavy shit like this happens and everything. But I honestly feel like there's gonna be another paradigm shift. I honestly do feel that. I don't feel like it's the end quite yet,
I
because
just hope they don't get away with
the
this martial law second pandemic.
That's, yeah. A lot of people already know that that's gonna come into fruition. So I highly doubt that that's gonna, like, they just want the narrative to play out. It's like, but I think that people are there's something major is gonna happen. I can feel it. I can feel it. And I got my
It
boots,
has to.
so
Look
I'm
how
ready
close we
to.
are, just alone, like just the two of us in this one video. And look at TI testimonies, the whole channel. Look what all the TIs have said.
Yeah,
Like we've exposed existence. We just made one
yeah,
yesterday, five and a
yeah.
half hours.
Oh shit.
It's longer than Pearl Harbor. It's like two Pearl
Wow.
Harbors.
Yeah.
That's a good movie, by the way. You ever seen that? Great movie, Pearl
Yeah, Pearl
Harbor.
Harbor. Yeah.
I think we should have we should get closer
Damn it.
in
Everybody around
groups.
me stuff that is a part of my loop. Do you know what I'm saying? A part of my loop. You guys are taking, so in Luciferianism, what the reason why is because they're trying to, that we're, because they think that they're God, and that they're like almighty and everything. What they're actually doing is stunting the growth of creation, and they sent us in these loops trying to play God. And in Luciferianism, you would you returning to your form is Luciferianism. Okay, so that's the type of technology spellcast that they have on us right now. Look this up. I'll
Oh,
I'll
because
send
they
I'll
flipped
send it to
everything
you. Just
around.
Wikipedia. Wikipedia, what they have worded in there is exactly what it is that these loops are that we're experiencing. Things from our childhood, our past. The thing that you just said with Pearl Harbor, I used to fucking watch that movie all the time when I was 15. I love that movie. So, but they have me in my teenage years right now, and then it's going to start returning to my toddler years and all that shit and stuff. So breaking out of the loop is what we have. That's what we have to do in order to fight against them, because we're light trapped in a bottle right now. That's what I believe. That's another thing. It's like we could look at it as doom and gloom, but we have to. There's positivity in this
That's why I was
somewhere.
just saying we should get together, we should get closer and do some astral traveling or some spiritual stuff.
That would be
And
cool. Yeah.
that's what I've been trying to do for years, but I keep getting distracted with all the targeting stuff and all the other stuff going on. And I think
Yeah.
that's number one priority is to work on our, our abilities and, being able to go beyond the matrix.
Do you think that's what it is? That we're just supposed to, like, they just want us to check out and that's it? Like,
Well,
there's no
not
saving.
necessarily. It's not necessarily like a permanent checkout. It's just you leave your body at will, go back in at will kind of thing. Just having more power as beings, being able to not just be, flesh and blood anymore and now move on to, being able to leave at will. Wait, I don't know why it keeps kicking you.
Keep
But yeah,
freezing. I don't know why.
it's glitching out a lot on you.
Yeah, they might be around the property because it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, usually, and I've got 2 bars right now. Yeah, I had 4 earlier when we started, and now I have 2. So it's possible they're running something.
If we could manage, like if you and I astral traveled right now, we could meet somewhere and fly around and stuff. Like we could have like 100 TIs leave their bodies at the same time in one group session if they could or try
Right, because
to.
then they couldn't spy on us, right? They only have control of our bodies.
Then we could do anything. We could live. Like we're not living right now. We're dead.
I know.
We're like the Walking Dead. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of our bodies and travel. We're travelers. Supposed to be beyond space time.
I don't dream anymore unless it's synthetic.
Same here. It's messed up.
So fucked up, right? Yeah, and it's stupid dreams. Like they made me poop myself. Like
Uh,
weird dreams. Like actually, I got off of a chair and I was like in a public area. And it was really bright, and then I got off of a chair and I looked back. And there was like poop on the chair. It just made me laugh. I was just like, "This is weird. I've never dreamt about something like that. Like it's fucking weird." And then, but there was another time that I dreamt that I beat, usually it was like Jonathan, I would be in these like wars with him of being in these like compartment areas and trying to keep him like locked out. In my last one that I had, I actually took over the dream. I lucid dreamed and locked him out, and then I remember him looking up at me like, oh, and I surprised myself, and I was like, yes, I won it because it never happened. So I think I'm stronger. It's possible that I might be able to be like, that was another thing. I might be able to be like taking over it's possible to take over these simulations that they
you
have you
can.
in.
That's what we need to work on. We need to work on our spiritual
Yeah.
ability, astral traveling, leaving our body, but we also need to work on programming ourselves to know that we're asleep while we're sleeping somehow, so we can lucid dream.
Yeah, true.
And maybe we can shared lucid dream. That'd be cool. We could all whoop their asses together in our own little.
They try to when they break in, they try to teach me shit. They leave things like marked in my spiritual books. Like they'll leave things like underlined and marked in my books so that I like reference it of like it's like them speaking to me. But honestly, like I don't feel like they truly, because of like knowing those assholes, I don't think that on like that level, I don't think they're misinterpreting it and trying to use it against me. But at the same time, they can achieve what the actual meaning of what these things are. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it sounds
They'll
like
look at
they're also
something and
trying
try.
to. act religious and, make it seem like they're good for
That's
you in
yeah.
some kind of way to make themselves feel better about what
Yeah.
the scum that they are is.
What that yeah no there so there's that yeah like they're teaching me stuff, but then at the same time they're like I don't know, it's weird. But then they also and like they want to play God. The monarch butterfly is the
Yeah,
symbol of God, and
they're
I
just
see
garbage, pretending
I
like they're
see
not.
all these young people now that are our age getting tattoos of the butterflies and everything there. Guess what, guys? You didn't think of that. You're not fucking cool. You didn't think of that. That is the image in your mind that the CIA created for you. And you think that you're cool and you're just letting them know that, yeah, I'm still under your control when you put
Literally.
shit that on your body.
They did that to me when I was a kid. They made me throw up the 666 hand sign and oh, wait a minute. I was just saying that, they did that to me as a kid. They had me, obsessed with eyes and yin yangs and, the 666 and, or not the 666 necessarily, sorry, but the, just covering up the eye and, I got a
Yeah,
chick
that's
with
why
a hole in
if
it.
you look on my
Oh, I'll take a picture.
Instagram, if you
Yeah,
look on my Instagram, the first time that they contacted me, they contacted me. They put their like they contacted me at Burning Man. They replicated a bedroom that I was staying in before I went to Burning Man. They replicated this room and put it on Playa. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I got a phone call the day after I got off Playa. I was in a hotel with people and I'm like, does Burning Man call you? What the fuck was that? And it literally says, I picked up the phone. They're like, hello, you received our message. Um, we will be in contact soon and stuff like and I had the phone number. That journal also got removed from my belongings and stuff. They used some system that's like a robotic system that calls that they have this recording and it's robotic and then it calls out to you and stuff, and then I called it back and it's the same message. So it's somebody set that account up and everything to call me to have it say that like we see you, we will be in contact with you soon. You've received our message. This is like da da da. We'll see you soon. So it's scary. It's like that's how big of pull these people have. They run the fucking planet, man. They run everything. They will like if they decided tomorrow, oh, you want to work for us? Like you want to be on our team? Okay. Now everyone's going to fucking love you again, and you're going to be like you're going to be this big thing and stuff like that's, and then everybody's like under the spell, oh, Katasha's amazing, and stuff, like that's the type of power these people have.
they do. It's like,
Life.
you ever seen a John Wick movie? Not the last one that they just made, but the third one, I think. At the end of it, he makes a phone call and he's like, now. And then everyone around just stops. They turn and they look at him.
Right.
And they're like, all right, that's it. And then they got them all to just, like, everyone's under that kind of mind control.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
it's crazy, but there's a way that we can do this. We have to figure this out. This is not the end. This is not the end.
and
They
I think
don't
it's the end
they
for a lot
put
of people,
they
just not
put
us.
us what is it?
Unfortunately, I think it's the end for a lot of other people, just not us.
Yeah, no,
I
no.
think they're
There's a
getting
lot of
taken
guys
over.
out there that are fucking depleted and everything, and it makes me feel really sad inside for them and stuff because they're like, it's people with like fucking families, and what they don't realize, they're like, oh my god, I just have like two kids and a husband, and I'm like fucking at home, and I just want to like have a normal life. Like, what the fuck is all of this? Oh, sorry, it's your bloodline, and you're like, that's why they're hunting you, and you wouldn't know any better because you're adopted and everything. Like, imagine this is a girl that I spoke with that from Maryland. That's a TI. Isn't that, it's fucking horrible. And she has no idea why these people are, she thinks it's this psychopath that ripped off her business and stuff like that. Like did all this
Yeah,
stuff.
they do that to all the most of the TIs, if not all of them. They'll try to find somebody they can make you think it is in your head.
Right, exactly. And that's what I told her. I was like, this is beyond him. It's
Yeah.
beyond him. And I even told her that. And in my situation, after I found government cars following me, And especially when I was coming across country, 4 of them following me, all white men in their like late 50s, early 60s, whatever, and stuff. And they're
They're
in their
all trained in the art of deception,
right,
and
yeah.
beyond deception, covers and fronts.
So yeah, there's like there's more to this. There's more to this, and they have people in fleets, car fleets, that all over the United States. These like the what I found by looking up these people's plate numbers, they're tied to dealerships. The dealerships say that they're for sale on the website. They fudge the entire profile of their mileage and everything put on it, and the cars are not actually for sale and they're not on the lot. These are the cars that they if you are getting your car fixed, they loan them out, or they switch between the dealerships. Also, they'll trade them out that way, but they are tied. All the cars that these perps use are tied to dealerships. They come and pick up their car, they go and do the bidding of what, raping or harassing or whatever and stuff, or some of these people get to keep the car, working with the company, working with the fusion center or whatever permanently, and then they'll switch out cars too.
Oh, speaking of fusion centers, I just want to drop this on this video for you and everyone else. Somebody hacked into the fusion centers and hacked all the government databases, and they released it to the public on the internet. And I have a special link for you to it. It's tinyurl.com slash
That makes me really,
uh
it's
the
next month
blue
is
leak.
my birthday, so this it just came early. Thank you.
The blue leak. When's your birthday?
Can you send that to me?
Yeah, I think that's the link. I gotta click on it, make sure it's that. Blue leaks. Oh, that's not it.
Oh, you don't know my birthday? You can just look it up
Where
on
did
the
they
dark
shut it
web.
down? Wow, I think they shut it down.
You can
Wow, I made a video on it and then it got shut down. I think they were
of
watching
the
it.
video. When you see stuff like that, you have to record it because they will take it. They'll take it out immediately.
I thought about saving the whole entire day. Oh no, it's still there. It's
Okay.
tinyurl.com slash the blue leaks.
Okay.
I put it right in the chat here. You just click on it.
I'm getting, yeah, I'm getting like a slow but steady following finally on my TikTok, and I'm like really working on that so that I can get more exposure in this stuff. But like, I feel like when I do talk about the mind control stuff, like that goes over people's heads, and I'm trying to create more content, light content. Like the president of Chile, he's already outlawed this in the country and stuff. I said that in the last video. And I think that this is something that we should start working on in the United States, getting signatures put together or something like 500,000 signatures for neuro rights and stuff, and like being activists on that right now, because that's the shit that's in our bodies and that's what's enslaving us right now anyways, right?
Yeah.
So
That the database too, you might be able to find your file in there because another TI that I talked to that told me about that database, he found his file in there and he posted a video about it, and you can see the government's information, what they wrote about him, stalking him
no
around,
way.
and you might find your file in that database. And there's
Wow.
tons of shit about aliens and a whole bunch of stuff, the Galactic Federation, reptilians, is all kinds of stuff in that database.
Wow.
All their dirt is right there. So now we get to investigate them.
So but if that happened, then what it is, targeted justice aware of this?
I don't
I
think so.
they're not.
The
They're
problem
not
with targeted justice now is everyone's warring on them because they asked for too much money or did something wrong and pissed people off, and now everybody's saying that, they're just a bunch of asshole perps. So I feel bad for
What
them.
are they? I don't understand. How are they asshole perps? Like, what is going on with that?
I don't know. There's like a whole army of TIs, like waging all out war on them right now on the internet, calling them
Yeah,
out, saying they're a scam, that they're frauds, that they're fake, that all this stuff. And
yeah,
I don't
because they were
know.
trying to get a bunch of money from all of us and everything to go to court for this, and I was just like, wait, what? Okay, so it's only, and then I was just like, dividing that much money amongst like 100,000 people is not a lot of money.
Yeah,
And what the
it's
fuck is
not.
that actually gonna do? So that's what I was just like, okay, these people, and like they're just, I think that they were set up just to defund us even further.
Probably. Yeah, maybe. I think, the people should be we're entitled to, I think, each of us trillions of dollars.
Oh yeah, no, everybody that is involved, like we would bankrupt the system. We would
Yeah.
bankrupt the
That's
system.
one of their motives, because if we just sued them right now, if we just sued the CIA, the FBI, or the government in general, every single one of us is entitled to trillions or more dollars. Literally trillions now.
Yeah, yeah.
Trillions.
Is
Fuck your billions. Fuck your
I'm
millions.
I'm
Trillions.
I'm worried about, like, because of all of the ritual abuse that was done on me. I will say this: in December of, I think it was December of 2020, I started experiencing what is soul loss. You know what I'm talking about? It felt like a
Like
detachment.
fragments.
Yeah. And it freaks me out too, because I'm like, is that why I don't dream anymore? Did they, like,
That's what
how
I feel like too. That scares me.
it, like, when you experience soul loss and everything, like, what did they actually take? Is that when did they take it from me? You know what I mean? How am I
Well, they
still?
can't take your soul because you are your soul.
Yeah, right, like, that's, yeah, but I started experiencing, like, fragments. Yeah, it was like this. And you'll know what that feels like it literally feels like you're like, yeah, like you don't know who you are anymore and stuff. They started breaking me down to that point, and I think they do that so that they can alter your mind and everything.
Yeah.
So
Mine are
hypnosis.
yelling, those fuckers took souls already.
So
But,
modafinil, and the other drugs that were used for MK Ultra are the things that were being given to me to stay awake, when I didn't have Adderall, when I wasn't being prescribed Adderall at the time, and then finally I got my prescription, or if I ran out, I wasn't abusing it ever. It was at 15 milligrams, and, like, because I have, like, heart issues and stuff, and it was like, yeah, I would use modafinil and other things, but they were giving me these drugs that were susceptible for mind control, and they were doing that on purpose because they were in the night when I was sleeping and stuff. That's when they were, you know, they're doing the
I think
hypnosis.
Adderall has something to do with it too. Because I
You
took a lot of Adderall too.
Yeah, you take it, and then when you're sleeping is when they do the hypnosis on you when you're sleeping, because I've woken up hearing the voices and
I
everything,
hear
like,
them all the time.
yeah, I'm like, oh, and
Right
stuff.
when I'm going to sleep, I hear them talking into my head, trying to brainwash me, trying to program me with stuff, call me another name and shit. Like, I just freak out on them. I just get up and I'm like, yo, what the? Yeah,
Yeah,
just go
yeah.
online. Like, oh, these guys trying to brainwash me.
They have, like, it's a guy. He's got, like, a very low voice, and he can manipulate his voice into other people. Yeah, I know. I know you're fucking in there. It's like, what would they have inside of us? Because I had
I
this
think
shit
it's the spirit
probably
of
in.
the Antichrist. I think it's Nimrod and his Semiramis,
No, no, no,
the,
no.
the fake god of the world.
They have technology installed in us, and this was
Uh,
installed at a certain point in our lives that we wouldn't have known otherwise. I had a surgery done in France where I had a fibroid removed, and then they said, my doctor told me that two men, oh, this was important, two men showed up at his office and took the sack with them.
uh,
I carried that sack in me for like 8 years. It was like, and they said it was a fibroid, but I've also heard things that, like, I don't, why would someone confiscate something like that?
uh, that's
Think
weird.
about it. Think about it. Think about it. I'm not going to say it, but think about it.
All right, you gotta say it again because I don't know what you're saying.
So it looks like it was like it looks like a fibroid, but it like, these, when I had that removed, because it developed with, it stayed the same and it stayed inside me and stuff. Is possible that was like, it was one of their either experimentations, or because they confiscated it, right? And my doctor told me about it. And was like, why would, I was like, I don't even know what to like, at that time I'm like, wait, what is this guy saying to me? I have no idea what that even means and stuff. um when they removed that from me, So it's something else. It wasn't like it looked like a fibroid. I remember waking up during my surgery and like looking at it, and it didn't, but it looked like skin. It just looked like a skin sac kind of thing. It didn't look like an actual fibroid, because I've seen photos of fibroids and it did not look like that. It looked clean and like just like something else. It was weird. But yeah, that, and I had that in me for like 8 years. So
Wow, that's weird.
yeah, I have no idea. So, and I think that the people that it's hard for me. I can't be in relationships anymore because it's like the people that they plant around me in my life and stuff are a part of it. Like my ex, like did V2K shit on me. He was a part of it. He's easily mind controlled.
You got to be with
And
a TI.
what?
You got to be with another TI. That's what I
Yeah,
realized. Or you got to find somebody that will, not only believe you, or just they don't have to believe you, but just make sure they're not going to turn on you.
right, right. So yeah, life full of loneliness.
Very much. Yeah. But
Man,
we
do you
can
know
always
about?
chat.
Yeah. Do you know? Do you know? Actually, never mind. No, let's just pause for today. I need to. I need to go eat dinner
All
right now.
right. Well, thank you for your testimony, and
Yeah.
you can do another one anytime or call anytime.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do like I want to finish like with like part three probably tomorrow. Get the remainder of this stuff out and out of my fucking life, so I can wipe this phone and not have to deal with this shit anymore. For now, I don't know. I don't know. It's like it. I know that some of the people in this world are not people. I know that some of the like the people running this planet are also not people. Um, that this is, yeah, it's on a massive scale. That if you are a TI, you should not hold people who are gang stalking you accountable, because I think that some of them have no control actually over what they're doing,
I
but
agree
some
with
of
you
them
on that.
do, and they are complete sellouts, and they should, yeah, just total scum. So, but because I've even asked one of the women driving a car of a weird, it was like something a very long, like it's, I said something about like abracadabra or whatever, and this shit was on the back of this woman's car the next, like with the next day. And I looked over at her and I was like, "Excuse me, how did you get that license plate?" And she's like, I was just like, "How did you choose that for your license plate?" And she's like, "What does it say?" And I was like, "You don't know what your license plate says?" And she's like, "No, it's not my car."
What?
So yeah,
That's
there's
weird.
that. So it's possible also that these people driving these vehicles, they are not even susceptible of understanding what the hell they're doing. You
Yeah,
know,
I got that too.
it's be here at this time, like we need you to follow this track of this, but they're actually, so like be mindful until they actually make contact with you to piss you off. Those are the people that you want to fuck their worlds up, make them feel super uncomfortable, make them feel so uncomfortable with themselves. Those are the ones that are like little demons, right?
Yeah.
Because
You gotta shame
they're
them.
doing some, yeah, and they think they're above you and everything. Too bad you guys all look like you fuck each other. Like seriously, they look like little mouse. Like they, like that guy I showed you, Jonathan. He looks like a fucking mouse. The last girl that said something to me in public, and she's lucky I was with my aunt. She had this mousy look and stuff. I'm starting to notice there's like these like mousy trolly people out there that, yeah,
Yeah.
talking bad shit, and she knows that I hand her ass to her. So, anywho, just yeah, remain tough, stay your ground. We're
Get some
gonna get through
cameras.
this. It's so fucked.
Walmart, everybody, Walmart, Mercury, they're like $18, somewhere around there. Cheap cameras. They work in the dark, infrared. You can even talk through them. They got
I
motion
one,
sensor, sound center, and they go right
yeah,
to the cloud for you. So you can
We
watch it
should
on
make
your
a
phone.
private cloud to see, like, we should do some type of private. That's why I wanted
Just
to
the
go in.
TI cloud for all
I
TIs to
wanted,
watch other
yeah,
TIs.
I wanted to go into cybersecurity because of that, and they're trying to make it so that I can't and everything. I'm trying to go because I used to have that type of. I taught myself coding at a very young age, and then I just like gave it up afterwards. But I was really into it, and I understood it and stuff. I taught all of that to myself, like in the fourth grade. Like, what the fuck?
We
What
might
kind
be interested in some of the systems that I developed. Very world changing stuff. I'll send them to you.
Yeah,
You might be interested in getting involved in that if you're looking to try to make some money or start a business or these are like
I'm
the
starting work.
businesses of businesses.
So I'm starting work at in a few weeks and stuff because that was the trade off with my family. Is like I'm trying to um, get on like disability for my head stuff right now, and then also be able to work, and so I just have money coming in regardless, right? And so yeah, I'm just because I literally I have nothing left, and what I do get, I'm gonna just leave in the bank and just keep it coming and
Do you
stuff.
ever think about getting like a trailer and going on like a family member's land or an RV and traveling around or something?
I thought about doing that too, but I have to be 2 days at this location and then 2 days at home. And they did say in the ad that, like, for working for this, we'll see what happens, but they did say it was fully like 100% from home. And that's why I applied for the position. So
Oh, there you go.
I'm hoping within like 6 months to a year that I will be able to strictly be at home. I'm going to request for that and be like, I don't want to come in anymore. And yeah. And then I would be able to travel after that. So, and then it takes them about 2 weeks to dismantle your life in the area that you're in, is what
Oh.
I've also come to know. So it's like try to just have fun, go to an area, be there, and then, keep it just like keep cycling of if I can like build a bag of like have my work stuff and then like some clothes, whatever, have that to be able to go wherever like think to myself, all right, I'm going here. It would take them so long to set some sting operation up against us. And I
Mhm.
know that everybody doesn't have that, but if you can get that type of job, T Tech, it's called T Tech. If you go on to T Tech, try to find work from home job, and then you'll be able to travel and do whatever the fuck you want and
I
stuff
need
after.
that right now. You got to send me that. I'll
Yeah,
send you some stuff.
you
I
have
was
to
saying you should get an RV because then you could do that job and you could travel around and
do what
visit
job.
TIs and you could do that job
Oh,
in an
and see,
RV, and then they can't get you because now
see,
you're
okay,
mobile and you're on the road and you could put cameras even in the RV on the outside and the inside.
inside. Yeah, I thought about doing that. I thought like that's what I was going to set up to do, but then I'm like, it's just like I can't announce any of this stuff until the day it happens and stuff. Like I wanted to get an RV, and then when I was on my way to the hospital to my appointment, they had a Mercedes Benz going 10 miles an hour in front of me, and no matter which lane I switched into, they switched with me. And then they even went into the park. They tried to slow me down, but I left like super early because I knew some shit like that would happen. And then they,
So they don't want you to get an RV. That's how you know you do want to get one.
oh no, yeah, they were rubbing in my face like they're driving a Mercedes like RV and stuff. Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
All right.
Because I
Yeah,
said
I've been wanting to get one myself because I feel like that's the best way to go. Just, grab a couple TIs, go, maybe like two, three people. I think like three or four actually would be cool. Just have like a little Jersey Shore on the road, a little TI Jersey Shore. Stick together, fight them off, you know.
that's what I'm saying. Like if we like we could do it would be like a camera crew type deal, like documenting all of the shit and stuff, and we could go to other cities where TIs are to document their shit.
You even collect stuff from everywhere you go.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
But I
an
was thinking like, because I can't drive because I get a suspended license. I'd have to use someone
why.
else's name if I got pulled over.
Yeah.
Just some stupid shit. I had weed in the car and they fucked me for the weed or something.
Yeah,
But oh, I forgot where. I'm sorry for my language.
it's okay.
I forgot we're live. But yeah, I have a suspended license. But anyway, everyone out there that's a TI, if you're watching this, that is probably the way to go. If you can get yourself a free or a cheap RV, and just fix it up, do that. You know, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
but they
free ones
tried
out
to
there.
take the last time that like with my car, they tried to take I went into a rich neighborhood to sleep there and I was safe for the night and then they had a gang stalker trying to steal my catalytic converter off of my car in the morning.
Oh yeah, yep. They stole my catalytic converter off my car
Yeah.
while it was in an impound lot. How did that happen?
Right. That's what
Like
I'm saying.
who?
Yeah. So
Like that must have
they'll
been
try to
set
take
up.
them. They'll try, no, they don't want you to be mobilized. I don't know why. Like they don't like that either, but yeah, it's very, all of this is like very strange. There's certain rules to this. They don't want us to be mobile. They don't want us to be out in public. They hate that the most, which is also because you know what it is that we have the power to change the population. That's the
Yeah.
thing is they
Yep.
they may have this technology within us and everything, but we have the power to change other people and their perspective on the world.
Yep.
That's
And
why they
we
don't
have
want to.
we have the upper hand because we have the truth, and they're the liars.
Right, exactly. So they don't want us, yeah, they don't want us out there right now while they are trying to take over and everything because if we persuade the masses, then they're fucked. So
Yeah.
they
That's why we have to be
but
the liars to everybody. That's
I
why they're stalking
I
us and
also
slandering us.
I think and they slander us because yeah, because of that. So here's another thing is that I also think that well, fuck, I was going to say it.
Lucifer's taking over the world, people,
No,
and we're his
no, that's not
victims.
true. That's
Okay,
not true because
or Satan or whatever.
we have the power to persuade other people. They tear us down because of that. They don't want us in public to because while they're doing the takeover, that's why they try to hit us as hard as possible. But we do have the power of persuasion. And that's very important to know that. And that's why they don't want us out and they want us to stay home and get sick and die and stuff. Like they don't want that and stuff. But we actually have the power to persuade like I think that I you are able to deprogram yourself within your healing state and then once you get to that point they also know that we are it's possible it's not the chosen ones. I think we are the chosen ones slash like we should actually be called the untouchables because they can do all the shit but like take us out and rape us and like whatever but they can't actually kill us, which is interesting because they never leave like they used to leave marks on me but now they can't because they know that I can report this shit, you see.
Yeah.
But why would they keep us alive? They don't want my therapist, this woman who was she says she's a TI, Kathy, she has books on Amazon and shit. I used to talk to her about being a targeted
Kathy
individual.
O'Brien.
Yes, no, not Kathy O'Brien.
Oh, okay.
What's her name? Although I feel like her, Kathy O'Brien. I do. I feel like her. She's yeah. Like her stories and mine are pretty much like very similar to each other. No, her I can't remember. She has books on Amazon. Hold on. It's like so let me go to it. Give me 1 second. Um um uh, give me 1 second. Kathy Meadows is her
Oh,
name.
all right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, have you spoken to her?
I may have before.
Yeah, Kathy Meadows. Yeah,
I think I have.
I used to speak with her often and stuff. And then, yeah. I just like I can't afford to speak with her anymore. But I also don't really want to because there were sometimes that I just like, yeah. Um, but yeah, so she like really helped me like with understanding these things and like also getting a lot of that off of my chest because I was awakening. It's like awakening to what all of this is and everything. And I couldn't really wrap my head around it before, but now I have like a better understanding of what it all is right now. So, but yeah, so we'll stop there for today. And yeah, I'll give you. I'm gonna send you a bunch of the stuff that I want to go over for like the last one that we do.
Okay, cool. Thank you everybody for watching, and please check out the other TI testimonies. If you'd like to give a testimony, you can contact TI testimonies at Gmail.